how to prepare a tri-tip. Tri-tip is usually on sale every once in a while. This is for $2.47 a pound. California prices are astounding. It's USDA choice. What they don't show is a big flap of fat down there. So I'm going to take it out, remove the fat, stud it with garlic and rosemary, and pour rosemary, garlic, olive oil over the top for the grill. So now we're going to flip the meat over. And as you can tell, they stick a lot of fat on there. It's really thick too. You can start pulling it by hand, but pretty much do it by pulling it and sawing back and forth. You really don't want all this fat. It'll start a fire on the grill. It does contribute some to the flavor, but you get most of it off. If you get a little meat, that's okay. This is way too much fat to have on a piece of meat. Again, as you pull, you'll be able to get more of the fat off. And there's a sawing motion. That's the most effective way to cut. So now we're going to slice up the garlic into little chunks. The idea is to make them thin enough so they can fit in the meat. So you'll stab the meat and stuff the garlic in it. This adds a nice garlic richness inside. So when it's grilling, it perfumes the whole meat. Beautiful garlic flavor. And that's going to impart a, and we'll probably use a lot of the remainder just to make the sauce with the rosemary to coat it. There it is, studded. So we have a nice olive oil, and we're infusing it with raw garlic and fresh rosemary from my garden. That will go under and on top of the meat, and it'll sit on the meat for about 10 or 12 minutes, and then we'll put it right on the grill, giving a beautiful garlic rosemary flavor all over the piece. So after a couple minutes, we'll just put some of the oil down here. That has all that rosemary flavor in it. And then we'll take our tri-tip, lay it in that so it gets absorbed, and then just pour the oil over the top of that and leave the garlic on it. This should sit for about 10 minutes and it will get nice and flavorful, and when we crust it on the outside, the rosemary will just stay right with it. While it's resting, throw a little bit of salt and fresh ground black pepper. And that will season it so it's ready for the barbecue. Try to get your grill up to as hot as possible, and you'll sear the outside for about 4 minutes aside, and then let it slow cook. Now we put it on the grill. Notice we're leaving all the nice garlic and rosemary on top to add flavor. It'll get really crusty, but it'll be beautiful. Let that come back up to about 550, 600. It'll get hot, and then we'll turn it over in about 4 minutes. And I just flipped it, and we got a beautiful crust going over the top. The garlic, the rosemary's underneath, will be aromatic. So we'll let it cool down a bit, turn it to about 350, and let it cook for a good 20 minutes. Took a cauliflower, and I'm going to cut off the bottom. Now we're going to cut the little pieces off all around so that they are easier to deal with. We're using fresh spinach, so you really got to get it clean. I made a pasta one night at my friend's house, and in the middle of the beautiful sauce, it got gritty, so you can't have that. Best way to do it is to elevate it and then just rinse it. This way all the little grains of sand and dirt get moved out and down the drain. Now if you keep all the spinach together, you can just cut the stems off. I'll go from the other side, please, here. That gets rid of the hard part. Not really much in spinach. And then we're just going to wilt it in a pan. Some babies that are boiling. They only take about 20 minutes to get done. Just put some butter in there. Let this wilt down. We'll add a little butter and a little flour later to make our roux. Add the cream to that to thicken, and our cauliflower. Should be interesting. So we're just reducing down the moisture from the spinach. Put the feta cheese in there. It's actually making a nice cheese sauce right now. So that's what we're going to do. That's just butter and feta. Really nice. Let it reduce down. Have our artichokes. We'll have that with balsamic and olive oil. And the meat's going to be done in a little bit. I'm working on the onion, feta, and Persian cucumber salad. So we're going to thinly slice a red onion. If you do it too thick, it might get too bitter. Actually, it makes sulfuric acid when you cut through it, which is interesting. But that's all you need. Just light them up, break them up, put them over the cucumbers. We're going to add a little olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and then our feta cheese. After you put the vinegar on, the cheese will start melting, so you want to put it on top of the vinegar. That'll hold it off a little while. Uh-oh, my cooking partners have arrived. Children's! Children's! So it's been about 20 minutes. We're at 350. Meat is nice and brown. It's a little rare in the middle, so turn up the heat and get it nice and finished. No, this isn't the space alien. It's our meat resting with some saran wrap to keep the moisture in. Leave it sit for about 10 minutes and the juices reabsorb. Otherwise, if you cut it, they all flow out and it's dry. Now we're carving. So as you can see, the ends are well done, and the middle gets slightly pink, then pinker towards the big thick part. So we'll get two well done sections and a bunch of medium rare and maybe a rare in the center.
So what'd you say, Knut? What did you say? You said I should describe the dishes? Okay.
Good. Let's look at them. We have our tri-tip. We have well done butter with cauliflower, little Tony Chachere's, artichokes with olive oil and balsamic, spinach with feta cheese and a little butter. This is the medium rare, and they're both delicious. Bon appetit, everyone. Enjoy the steak. Bye. So here's our little dinner. Having it outside on a beautiful Southern California day in August with two hungry people looking on and one looking from the living room. No, you can't. Knut, you're spoiling the ambiance. Why? What? What? What are you doing? You're sneezing. Now what? What? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Well? Yeah? No, I don't think so. Shh.